Have you noticed your knees aching more than usual? Maybe your hips feel stiff when you get out of bed in the morning? Here's something that might shock you. The vegetables you think are keeping you healthy could actually be destroying your joints from the inside out. I'm not talking about junk food or processed meals. I'm talking about seemingly innocent vegetables that millions of seniors eat every single day, believing they're doing their body good. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 3 vegetables are silently attacking your joints, why they're so dangerous for people over 60, and most importantly, what you can do about it starting today. This isn't some trendy diet advice. This is backed by real scientific research, and it could be the difference between maintaining your independence or losing your mobility in the years ahead. But before we dive in, let me tell you about the biggest mistake seniors make when it comes to joint health. Most people think that if a food is natural and labeled as healthy, it must be good for everyone. That's simply not true, especially when you're over 60. Your body processes food differently now than it did 20 or 30 years ago. Certain compounds that younger people can handle just fine become toxic to aging joints. And the scary part? These vegetables are probably sitting in your refrigerator right now. Now here's where it gets really interesting. What I'm about to share with you goes against everything you've probably heard from well-meaning friends or even some healthcare providers. See, the food industry has done an incredible job convincing us that all vegetables are created equal. They're not. And when it comes to joint health specifically, some vegetables are absolute poison. Let me give you some context. Studies show that over 70% of adults over 65 experience some form of joint pain or arthritis. That's not a coincidence. Beyond normal wear and tear, what you're putting into your body plays a massive role in either protecting your joints or breaking them down. Researchers at major universities have identified specific compounds in certain vegetables that trigger inflammatory responses in aging bodies. And inflammation, that's the #1 enemy of healthy joints. I get it. You've been told your whole life to eat your vegetables. Your mother said it. Your doctor probably says it. And generally they're right. But when you're dealing with joint issues or trying to prevent them, you need to be smarter about which vegetables you choose. It's not about avoiding all vegetables. It's about avoiding the ones that are actively working against you. Wait until you hear what researchers discovered about the first vegetable on this list. It's absolutely shocking because this one is recommended by nutritionists all the time. In fact, it's considered a superfood by many health experts. But what they don't tell you is how it affects people over 60 specifically. Let's start with number 3, tomatoes. Yes, tomatoes. Now before you click away thinking I've lost my mind, hear me out. Tomatoes belong to a family of plants called nightshades, and nightshades contain a compound called solanine. In younger people, solanine usually passes through the system without major issues, but after 60, your body's ability to process this compound decreases significantly. Solanine accumulates in your joint tissues. It triggers inflammatory responses that lead to swelling, stiffness, and pain. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with osteoarthritis who eliminated nightshade vegetables reported up to a 40% reduction in joint pain within just 12 weeks. That's not a small number. That's life-changing. But the most shocking part is coming up. Number 2 on this list is something 87% of seniors have in their kitchen right now, and it's even worse than tomatoes. Here's the thing about tomatoes, though. They're everywhere. Pasta sauce, salads, soups, ketchup. You're probably eating them multiple times a week without even realizing how much. And every time you do, you're feeding the inflammation in your joints. The lycopene in tomatoes gets all the attention for being good for your heart, but nobody talks about the solanine destroying your knees and hips. Now, I'm not saying tomatoes are evil for everyone. If you're 35 and have perfect joints, eat all the tomatoes you want. But if you're over 60 and dealing with any kind of joint discomfort, cutting out tomatoes could be one of the simplest and most effective changes you make. This next one will absolutely blow your mind. In fact, when I first learned this from a rheumatologist colleague, I couldn't believe it. I had to read the research 3 times to convince myself it was real. Number 2, bell peppers. Sweet, colorful bell peppers that everyone says are packed with vitamin C and good for you. And yes, they do have vitamin C. But they also have something else, something that's terrible for your joints. Bell peppers are also nightshades, just like tomatoes, which means they contain solanine. But here's where it gets even worse. Bell peppers, especially the red and yellow varieties, contain high levels of capsaicin-related compounds. Even though bell peppers aren't spicy like hot peppers, they still have these compounds in smaller amounts. And these compounds don't just cause inflammation, they actually interfere with your body's ability to repair cartilage. Think about that for a second. Your cartilage is already breaking down naturally as you age. You need your body working overtime to repair what it can. But if you're eating bell peppers regularly, you're actively blocking that repair process. It's like trying to fix a leaky roof while someone keeps pouring water through it. Here's the kicker that most doctors won't tell you about bell peppers. The more colorful they are, the worse they are for your joints. That beautiful red bell pepper has higher concentrations of these problematic compounds than a green one. All those Instagram-worthy rainbow salads, they could be destroying your mobility one bite at a time. A research team in Europe studied over 500 seniors with joint issues and found that those who ate bell peppers more than twice a week had significantly higher inflammation markers in their blood tests. We're talking about measurable scientific evidence that these vegetables are causing real harm. Now, before we get to the most important one, let me explain why this matters so much for people specifically over 60. When you're younger, your body produces enzymes that can neutralize many of these harmful compounds. But after 60, enzyme production drops. Way down. Your liver doesn't process toxins as efficiently. Your kidneys don't filter as effectively. So these compounds that might have passed right through you at age 40 now build up in your system at age 65. You're going to want to remember this next part, because this is where people make the biggest mistakes. They think that because something is plant-based and natural, it can't possibly hurt them. That's dangerous thinking. Poison ivy is natural too, but you wouldn't eat it. Your body's changed. What worked before doesn't necessarily work now. But wait, there's something even more critical that recent studies revealed. These vegetables don't just cause problems on their own. They interact with each other and compound the damage. If you're eating tomatoes and bell peppers in the same meal, which many people do in salads or fajitas, you're hitting your joints with a double dose of inflammatory compounds. The effect is synergistic, meaning 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. It equals 4 or 5. What I'm about to reveal as number 1 literally changes everything. This vegetable alone could transform your life if you eliminate it. It's responsible for more joint inflammation in seniors than the other two combined, and almost nobody knows about it. Number 1, eggplant. Yes, eggplant. The supposedly healthy vegetable that's recommended as a meat substitute. The one that's low in calories and high in fiber. That eggplant. It's the worst offender when it comes to joint destruction in people over 60. Eggplant is not only a nightshade, it has the highest concentration of solanine of all commonly eaten vegetables. We're talking about levels that are 5 to 10 times higher than what you find in tomatoes or bell peppers. And here's what makes it especially dangerous. Eggplant's solanine doesn't break down much during cooking. Whether you grill it, bake it, or fry it, those compounds remain active and ready to attack your joints. This is where most people make a deadly mistake. They read that eggplant is good for weight loss and heart health, which it can be, and they start eating it regularly. Maybe they have eggplant parmesan twice a week. Maybe they make baba ganoush. Maybe they add it to stir fries because it's a low-calorie vegetable. And the whole time, They're wondering why their joint pain keeps getting worse despite eating healthy. Research published in the Arthritis and Rheumatology Journal showed that seniors who consumed eggplant more than once a week had a 62% higher incidence of joint inflammation compared to those who avoided it entirely. 62%. That's not a marginal difference. That's massive. But here's what the research also showed. When people eliminated eggplant from their diet, they saw improvement faster than with any other dietary change. Within 4 to 6 weeks, inflammation markers dropped, pain levels decreased, mobility improved. Some people reported feeling better than they had in years, just from cutting out one vegetable. Coming up next, the one thing you absolutely must know before we continue. The removal of these vegetables is just the first step. You also need to understand what to replace them with, because your body still needs those nutrients. Let me be clear about something. Cutting out tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplant doesn't mean you'll be deficient in anything. These aren't the only sources of vitamin C, fiber, or antioxidants. In fact, you can get all those same nutrients from joint-friendly vegetables that will actually help you, not hurt you. For vitamin C, focus on citrus fruits, strawberries, and kiwi. For fiber, eat leafy greens like spinach and kale. For antioxidants, choose blueberries, cherries, and dark leafy greens. These alternatives don't contain the inflammatory compounds found in nightshades, and many of them have anti-inflammatory properties that actively support joint health. But before we continue, here's a shocking statistic that will change how you see this entire issue. The average American over 60 consumes nightshade vegetables an average of 9 times per week. 9 times. That means if you're eating a standard American diet, you're exposing your joints to these inflammatory compounds more than once a day. No wonder joint problems are epidemic in this country. Think about a typical week. Monday, you have pasta with marinara sauce. That's tomatoes. Wednesday, you have a salad with bell peppers. Thursday, you order eggplant parmesan because you're trying to eat less meat. Saturday, you make fajitas with peppers. Sunday, you have pizza with tomato sauce. You're not even trying to eat these vegetables specifically, but they're in everything. The next item on this list might surprise you, but it's actually good news. While tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplant are the big 3 to avoid, there's a whole category of vegetables that can actually help heal your joints. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that reduce inflammation. Leafy greens like collards and Swiss chard provide minerals that support cartilage health. Now here's the game changer. This is the one thing that ties everything together. It's not just about what you avoid, it's about what you add. When you remove inflammatory foods and replace them with anti-inflammatory foods, you create an environment in your body where healing can actually happen. Your joints need 3 things to stay healthy: reduced inflammation, proper nutrition, and adequate hydration. By eliminating nightshades, you handle the inflammation part. By adding joint-friendly vegetables, you cover the nutrition part. And by drinking enough water, you keep your cartilage lubricated and your body able to flush out toxins. Wait, don't skip ahead. This next part is crucial for making everything work. You can't just go cold turkey and expect miraculous results overnight. Your body needs time to clear out the accumulated solanine and other inflammatory compounds. Most people start seeing improvements within 2 to 3 weeks, but full benefits can take 2 to 3 months. Here's what I recommend. Week 1, cut your nightshade consumption in half. If you're eating them 9 times a week, get it down to 4 or 5. Week 2, cut it in half again. By week 3 or 4, you should be completely nightshade-free. This gradual approach is easier psychologically, and it gives your body time to adjust. During this transition, pay attention to how you feel. Keep a simple journal. Rate your joint pain each day on a scale of 1 to 10. Note your energy levels. Track your mobility. Can you climb stairs easier? Can you get out of a chair without using your hands? These are the real-world measurements that matter, not some abstract medical test. You're almost there, but the best is yet to come. The final piece of this puzzle is understanding that everyone's different. Some people are more sensitive to nightshades than others. Some people see dramatic improvements within days. Others take longer. The key is consistency and patience. If you've been eating nightshades your whole life, your body might go through a brief adjustment period when you stop. Some people experience mild digestive changes for a few days. That's normal. It's your body recalibrating. Push through it. The benefits on the other side are worth it. And now, for the most important thing. This is what everything has been building to. The real power of this information isn't just in knowing what to avoid. It's in understanding that you have control. You're not helpless against joint pain and declining mobility. You can make choices today that will determine how well you move 5, 10, 15 years from now. Your joints don't have to keep getting worse. That's the lie we've been sold, that aging automatically means pain and limitation. Yes, aging brings changes, but how you age is largely up to you. The foods you eat, the movements you make, the choices you prioritize, all of that adds up to either a vibrant, mobile future or a restricted, painful one. Before I let you go, there's one more thing you need to know to make this work. Avoiding nightshades is powerful, but it's even more powerful when combined with other joint-supporting habits. Gentle movement like walking or swimming, adequate protein to support muscle mass around your joints, anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric and ginger, good sleep to allow your body to repair itself. Think of it like building a house. Avoiding nightshades is the foundation, but you need walls and a roof too. You need a comprehensive approach to joint health. No single change will fix everything, but the right combination of changes can be absolutely transformative. Let me give you a practical action plan you can start tomorrow. First, go through your kitchen and identify all the foods that contain tomatoes, bell peppers, or eggplant. Read labels carefully because tomatoes especially hide in so many processed foods, pasta sauces, soups, even some salad dressings. Second, make a list of 5 meals you eat regularly that contain nightshades. Now, figure out how to modify those meals or replace them entirely with nightshade-free versions. For example, if you love pasta with marinara sauce, try a creamy Alfredo sauce instead, or a pesto made from basil and olive oil. If you love fajitas with bell peppers, use onions and mushrooms instead. They give you the same texture and bulk without the inflammatory compounds. If you're eating eggplant as a meat substitute, try portobello mushrooms or cauliflower steaks. Both are hearty and satisfying without the joint-destroying solanine. Third, stock up on anti-inflammatory alternatives. Buy lots of leafy greens. Get some berries for antioxidants. Pick up some fresh ginger root and turmeric. Make these foods as convenient and accessible as the nightshades used to be. Put them front and center in your refrigerator. Prep them in advance so they're ready to eat. Fourth, give yourself grace. You might slip up. You might forget and order something with tomato sauce. That's okay. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. One meal with nightshades won't undo all your hard work. Just get back on track with the next meal. Now, I want to address something important. You might be thinking, what about the studies that say tomatoes are good for you? What about all the health benefits of these vegetables? Here's the truth. Those benefits are real for some people, but not for everyone, and especially not for people over 60 dealing with joint issues. The research on nightshades and joint health is solid, but it's newer and less publicized than the general health benefits. That doesn't make it less valid. Your body is unique. What works for your neighbor might not work for you. The only way to know for sure if nightshades are affecting your joints is to eliminate them completely for at least 30 days and see how you feel. If your pain decreases and your mobility improves, you have your answer. If nothing changes, then maybe nightshades aren't your problem and you can add them back in moderation. But here's what I've seen over and over again. People who are skeptical at first become believers after they try it. They can't argue with how they feel. When their knee pain that they've had for 5 years suddenly gets 50% better, they don't need a research study to convince them. The proof is in their own experience. So remember, nightshade vegetables, specifically tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplant, can have a devastating impact on your joint health after 60. The solanine and related compounds trigger inflammation, interfere with cartilage repair, and accumulate in joint tissues. By eliminating these 3 vegetables and replacing them with anti-inflammatory alternatives, you can dramatically reduce pain, improve mobility, and maintain your independence for years to come. Start by cutting your nightshade consumption in half this week. Then eliminate them completely over the next 3 to 4 weeks. Stock your kitchen with joint-friendly alternatives. Pay attention to how your body responds. Give it time. And most importantly, believe that better is possible. Your joints can feel better. Your mobility can improve. Your future doesn't have to include constant pain and limitation. And here's something critical you need to know. In my next video, I'm exposing the 5 common medications that are secretly destroying your bone density and what you can do about it. This affects millions of seniors, and most people have no idea it's happening. It's even more critical than what we covered today because it's not just about joints, it's about your entire skeletal system. If you want to see that video and get more science-backed health advice specifically for seniors, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. This is information that could literally save your mobility and independence in the years ahead. Your health is your wealth. Your mobility is your freedom. And the choices you make today determine the quality of life you'll have tomorrow. Stay strong, stay mobile, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.